Hello and welcome to Wine Festival Online. Thank you so much for tuning in.
We're Susie and Peter. We're both masters of wine, and we are also the co-founders of Wine Festival Winchester, which of course this year has become Wine Festival Online.
Now, this one's a bit of a weird one because you are introducing you.
I'm introducing me, yes. No, I'm really excited about this because this is where I get to go behind the scenes. I get to join Ryan Stafford, who is the executive chef of Rocket Food, and we get to go into the kitchen, and this is all part of their sort of cook's tour. It's a new thing that they're doing, a cook's tour, and Ryan is going to be cooking up the most phenomenal risotto, as you will know if you've got the food box in front of you.
Yeah, so if you've ordered the food box, get that ready. If you've got the wines, get them open.
So the other thing, we've got some wines, obviously. I've chosen a couple of fantastic M&S wines, so if you've got those, get those open. So really, everything ready. Get your mise en place.
So you can cook this now, cook along as it were, or you can obviously re-watch later and cook along later if you'd like to. Either way, it's going to be delicious.
It certainly is. I cannot wait. This is my idea of heaven. Anyway, so in order to get on with it, let's just mention a few other things. We would like to thank our sponsors, particularly our headline sponsor, Rathbones. As Peter said, if you want to watch this video now and then cook along later, or if you want to re-watch it and cook along, you can do that because it will be available after this particular session. There'll also be another masterclass coming up, actually. If
There's another masterclass.
You've got the energy to watch another one.
As well. We'd also say there is, if you check out on our site, there is a cook's tour. We have some special offers. They're very kindly offering some special offers for more events, delicious events that they're going to be running.
They've got events happening all the time.
Check those out.
It's
a fantastic new venture by Rocket.
Yeah.
Really, really exciting. And there also you can get some money off their next versions as well.
Absolutely.
We'd also like to say, if you have any problems with any of all of this, please do email us, hello@thewinefestival.co.uk, or you can contact us via social media. All of those details are on the website.
They are indeed. So now, I can't wait. I'm sorry, I just need to get on with this. Let's move to the kitchen.
Yeah, well, I'm going to let me do this.
Okay.
Okay. So enjoy a cook's tour masterclass with Ryan and Susie.
Good evening and a warm welcome to a cook's tour with Rocket, and here to our development kitchen at Rocket HQ for this very special Winchester Wine Festival edition. My name is Charlie Grant Peterkin, and I'm joined by our executive chef Ryan Stafford and Susie Barrie, Master of Wine. This evening we have a very special Italian night in. Now, they say two's company, three's a crowd, and looking at this set, I don't think there's much space for me. So I'll leave you to the pros and I'll come back later. Enjoy.
Yes, hello and welcome to this very special A Cook's Tour Cook Along, which is a Wine Festival Online exclusive. So we've hooked up with Rocket, and more specifically Executive Chef Ryan Stafford, to take you on a cook's tour of Italy, which involves risotto and truffle and cantucci and wine. I mean, what more could you wish for on a cold November evening? But we've got, less than half an hour?
We have got about 25
minutes to do this thing, so I think we probably should get cracking. Let's get on with the risotto and then we can talk as we go along.
Sure, okay, well thank you Susie. With that said, so we've got some beautiful ingredients here, and as instructed in the ingredients, we've got some beautiful stock. So the first thing for you guys to do at home is to turn that stock on.
So this is the people, if you've got your box, get your stock out in your pan and get it going. So this is, and tell me about the stock then.
So basically we've got beautiful stock here, Susie. It's fresh and dried ceps, so porcini, as they're known in Italy. We've got some garlic, some bay leaf, some thyme, and that's just been simmering away to give you, I don't know if you can see the colour on that.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful
depth
of colour.
You said to me earlier, the stock is everything, the backbone of the risotto.
It is indeed.
So we've got to get a good stock. You see, normally I'm just like a little, I have to admit, one of those little, not stock cubes, but stock gels. It's probably not the thing, is it?
Do you know what, I'll let you off with that one. We'll come back to that, but this stock, you're in good hands here for a great risotto, as you just said. So we've got some beautiful confit shallot, confit garlic and confit celery here, which we've very, very kindly here at Rocket cooked for you, just to take a lot of stress out.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is...
I don't think I've ever started risotto with anything quite like that. So when you say confit, it's sort of cooked in oil?
Yeah, so confit...
Chopped tiny?
Chopped tiny, I don't know if you can see it on the close-up. We've got chopped with a samurai sword, the way it looks. As you just said a second ago, I think you thought it was grated. They're very
I
chopped
thought it
nice.
was grated, I really did. Yeah, that's incredible. I definitely never chopped that small, but that's because I'm useless. But so, and then you cook it in oil for...
Yeah, so about 10-12 minutes, and taking maximum care not to catch any of that in the pan. Really, really important for the end result of risotto.
Okay.
So you've got your stock boiling.
Yeah.
You want to get this base in there. Like I said, you can just smell. Have a little smell in there, Susie. Sort of savouriness as well in there.
Yeah,
Baby.
the garlic there as well. That's lovely.
And straight away, sizzling away. The base is done. So you want to pop some rice, and this rice in particular that we use today is Violone Nano. So
Violone Nano.
Violone Nano. So beautiful risotto rice.
Is this arborio or canaroli?
No, this is actually, as it states, it's grown in northern Italy, usually organic, and it's really, really difficult to grow without pesticides. So that's why you don't see it commercially that often. So a very special rice that we've popped in the box for you to cook with tonight.
So if I can't get hold of this, which one would you? What do you think is? Which rice do you think is better?
Arborio is good. Canaroli are good. For me, this is what I use all the time. It's got a higher starch concentrate. It's a smaller grain, a fatter grain, so it rolls on the palate a little bit easier, and the starch gives it a creamy finish like no other grain.
Fabulous.
So there you go.
So we need this. This is what we need.
So this is what you need.
Get the rest of it.
We've got the shallots in there, and as you can see, sizzling away. The bay leaf's still in there.
Yeah.
The base is cooked. I'm just going to toast that grain. The reason you toast it is like you toast anything. You want a nice little toasted finish, and the oil will toast it. Even if there's no colour, you'll get the smell in there.
So we're on a high heat at the moment.
High heat, yeah. We're going to keep the ball
Making sure
rolling.
everybody's doing this right.
It's very, very important
Perfect
that
risotto.
it doesn't stick. Once you see it starting to stick at the bottom,
Yeah.
in with the white wine.
Okay.
So usually, how much white wine do you put in? As much as you want on this occasion.
Okay.
But I'm using a glass. I sometimes plug.
That's quite a small glass of me.
It's a tasting glass. But it's it's going to play its part. And again, we're talking about foundations with the stock, the backbone, but also levels of flavour as well. So if you think about it, we've got stock, one level. We've got the onions, garlic, another 3 levels there with the celery as well. And then we've got the wine. We're already on 5-6 levels of flavour, and that's what's important. It's not just throwing a bit of rice and stock together.
And so this is getting rid of all the wine. It's put sort of you've got to get to the point where the wine has boiled off.
Yeah, 100%, and it's the rawness of the alcohol we're trying to get rid of. So what we want to remain is the sweetness of the fruit. So the acidity is great in the wine, but we just want to reduce that down, make sure we're left with the sweetness. And once that's there, which it is already, we're going to start rolling.
So I want to ask you about this. So I've looked at recipes, and they often say, get your stock on a sort of a slightly rolling simmer.
Really important.
Do you really have to do that? I mean, can you not just boil it and make your stock and use it?
That's one of the most important questions you could ask about making a risotto. And the reason is because if you think about it, everything's hot in the pan, and then you add cold stock, you take the temperature right down, and then up, and then down, and all of a sudden you've got a 45-minute risotto. But if you've got the stock boiling, you're constantly adding it to a hot pan, keeping the flow, and therefore keeping the consistency and cooking of the grain on a quite a direct rise. Therefore, heading all in the same direction.
And we're looking at 20 minutes here. Start to finish?
I think start to finish, we're probably looking with a rolling stock 15-16 minutes tops.
Oh, okay. We might come in on time. You never know.
Yeah, let's hope so. Anyway,
finish when we're
be a first for me. So while that's going,
so we've got a salad to go with this.
We have. So while that's going, just to instruct our chefs at home, we just want to make sure that we always have maybe a millimetre or so just above the rice grain at all times.
Sure.
And you've got the right amount of stock. We're just going to cook that on a nice kind of
You've got to keep watching.
nice simmer.
I worked with Valentina Harris. Do you know Valentina Harris? She's an Italian author and cook, and we did eggheads together. Would you believe it? I was absolutely rubbish. But she's kind of queen of risotto. She's written a book called Risotto, and she said you need to lovingly stir your risotto for 20 minutes, but not if you've got your rolling stock, obviously.
Yeah, but
a bit faster.
But do you know what? That's all the testament and truth behind the grain being creamy as well, because the grains roll together, release starch, and it's all for the aim of that creamy, almost rice pudding finish that you want. So a high starch grain, the technique that you've just described, sounds like a perfect way to get a great risotto.
Right, Ryan, you're so calm, aren't you?
I'm trying to be. I'm like is it a swan on water? Is what they say? The legs underneath.
No, I think there's no massive paddling underneath. What I'm thinking is you worked with Gordon Ramsay, didn't you?
I did indeed, yeah. I worked in Chelsea at the Berkeley Hotel, and I've done stages at a lot of his restaurants.
So how did you cope with him? Is it because you're so calm and he's not?
He's lovely, you know. It's his team under him that are the aggressive ones, but
Really?
militant kind of mindset, and it paid dividends. Just for the way you dress, bringing a pen into the kitchen, the way you listen and so forth.
Yeah. I mean, I did meet him once, but he's the kind of man that exudes energy, doesn't he? I felt like he almost had like a Ready Brett glow around him. That you feel like there's a force
big aura.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, really.
And when you come to the kitchen, you get just that.
You don't stop. You stop for him. Yeah.
Exactly, and with not stopping, you talked about the salad. I didn't quite answer you. So the most incredible ingredients we've got here. So Tardivo, so Radicchio Tardivo is a beautiful, beautiful product. And that's why we wanted to bring it to all the guys at home. Absolutely amazing. It's not like it's brothers and sisters. It hasn't got a
I've never
bit
seen
finish.
anything quite like this.
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean,
so,
you look
why
at
does it end up like? So it's Tardivas are late.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a forced. We talked about this.
It's like a forced rhubarb. What they do is they grow all the way from mid to the end of summer. They grow the plant, which grows about 3.5 foot off the ground, and is green. Photosynthesis has come into play. And what they do is they clip it back, and as you can see the root here. That's a much bigger root than what you would expect on such a small little plant.
Yeah.
So if you can imagine, great kind of like what would you describe it as? You get a spring onion, you chop the head off it, you pop it in the fridge, you come to it a few days later, and it's trying to force a new little. And it's the same kind of technique they use on a larger scale.
And that's how it looks, isn't it? Yeah.
They pack it tight. They starve it of water and they starve it of light, and the product that you get is something close to that rhubarb technique of forcing it. A beautiful, delicate, crispy, non-bitter.
So it's not bitter, is it? Okay.
No, it's not.
I think while you're doing this, I might. Do we need some wine?
We need some wine. We always need wine. Of course we do.
We need wine. So we've got 2 wines in this masterclass, and they're both from Marks and Spencer. And I had I gave myself a brief when I was choosing these wines, and I had 3 things that I wanted them to be. Okay. The first one was Italian, obviously. We're going full on Italian tonight.
Yeah.
Definitely Italian. Secondly, I just wanted them to be fantastic value for money. Not so that I could have chosen expensive wines, but I thought no, I want something that's really good value for money, so that it kind of surprises people with the quality versus cost.
I really do like that.
And then third and the most important thing, obviously, that they taste great. So we've got 2, and the first one is Vermentino from Sicily, so the island of Sicily. I'm going to pour a bit of this for you. And this really it's like sunshine in a glass. It is the 2019 vintage, so very young.
I'm going to get to try this right now.
You are, absolutely. It's only, do you know how much this costs?
I'm going to say...
You haven't tried it yet, actually, have you? You need to probably try it.
I'm going to try it first. I think value of wine too is so important. There's got to be a threshold when you can buy quality, but you've got to be able to deliver quality at an affordable price as well.
I think so, and value can be at 50 quid a bottle, but this is an inexpensive wine. It's £6.50, and it is really just like sunshine in a glass.
It tastes like honey almost.
Absolutely, like those glazed yellow fruits.
And the ending, you get fresh honey at the beginning and then floral honey at the end. £6.50.
Nice way to describe it.
That is incredible.
That is stonking value, isn't it? That really. And what I thought was, it's a Vermentino, so it's an aromatic grape variety, but refreshing as well. So we're in Sicily. It's hot, so you need the ocean influence as well to give it that freshness. So you get a real lovely freshness. The reason I chose a wine like this, though, partly was because you told me about this Radicchio.
Yes.
And I thought, I've never tasted it. How do you choose a wine for something you've never tasted? And I know you said it wasn't too bitter. I thought I just want something really versatile, something that would go with pretty much, almost any kind of food, easy drinking, and I think that's exactly what that is.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. That's absolutely beautiful.
We could drink a lot of that. We maybe better not drink too much of it.
We're not going to finish it. Is that what you're trying to say?
So. Display your salad. Let's have a look.
So basically, we talked a little bit about the ingredient just a minute ago, and it was such a beautiful wine to pair with it. couldn't think of any better way than just delivering this. It's such a simple technique. This would make a great side. It would make a great kind of starter as well to enjoy.
So anybody at home, you can have this as your starter with your vermentino, or you could just have it as a side to the risotto. I mean, it's interesting with risotto, isn't it? Because I guess in Italy, originally, risotto was a first course, wasn't it? But now,
it was
probably people don't eat quite so much, and it's now can be a main course, which we're going to have now.
Well, I'm going to go with the side salad. I mean, you could just half the portion. We have been quite generous with the portioning in the box. So, tip to root to tip, all edible, as you can see here, nice and soft, and you get this beautiful little bonfire of tips. It's absolutely, I mean, look at that. It is, it's absolutely stunning. And just dance a few of these around the plate, just to add a little bit of volume.
I've never danced a radicchio.
We're going to dance tonight.
Can we dance?
It's such
Dance
beautiful
tonight.
wine, it's got me in the mood. So, we've got a beautiful little stack
That's
of...
gorgeous, isn't it? Can I have a little taste of this?
You can. So it's quite crunchy. I think the texture comes to me first.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, the texture is crunchy, but it's got a softness too, and then that lovely, just tiny bit of bitterness.
Yeah,
It's not very much. It's just a tiny little bit, isn't it?
I was taught by a very intelligent chef in my second big job in London, and he used to talk about having 10 seconds to measure. So he'd say, talk about the bitter, sweetness, and it'd be like, and heat as well. And he'd go, when you're hitting the 4 second and 6 second, it's a perfect harmony of a scale. So you go, okay, is that spicy? Bang, 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 and then you get to 6 second. Oh, there's a little tickle there. It's nice spice. Then it was a nice way to measure, and I do that with bitterness as well. So try that at home, guys, to measure the bitterness.
Seconds. So you taste a bit, and then you count to sort of 4.
No, count to 10 seconds.
Count to 10 seconds, and when you get to 4,
4 to 6 is the happy zone. So, texture, bitterness, do it with heat, do it with acidity as well. And I often do it, I go, okay, 6, 7 seconds, maybe we need to bring the acidity down, heat, etc.
It's really true, when I got to 4 seconds.
It's a good way to measure,
it really does start to get a little bit, but really nice tangy bitterness.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so tell me about this, so I don't...
Have a little smell of that. So we put in the box that you guys have received at home the most beautiful dressing to pair. So we've got equal parts of reduced balsamic, Italian aged balsamic. It's been aged
quite an old one because that really does have that lovely.
And it's been aged in mulberry casks, smoked mulberry casks, and then transferred to oak. So it has a little bit of a smokiness as well. So pairing in the wine world a little bit. I hope we're all learning. We just want to.
So that's equal parts of the balsamic. God, it looks like honey, doesn't it?
Truffle oil. So 3 parts. You've got olive oil, truffle oil, and balsamic. So you've got sweetness, acidity, and depth from the truffle, and then a savoury note. And just pour it all over there. A little sprinkle of sea salt.
So those 3 things. Now, I love you for that because so many people are snobby about truffle oil, aren't they?
Yeah.
I just think, who can not? If you like truffle, I love truffle oil. I mean, is that fair enough?
I think there was a time, and I think it was probably kind of the late 90s, early noughties, where it just became in everything. And there's also so much bad truffle. I've got two or 3 brands that I will use. You open a bottle generally from the supermarket, and the nose goes after 2 or 3. You smell it, just smells like normal, which says that it was kind of a forced essence. So I go for the infusion. Pay a couple
I did actually.
pounds.
I was thinking about. I did buy one that yes, it was it was a little drizzle of, and it wasn't so nice. But not mentioning any names.
And white truffle oil, if you can, it just packs a bigger punch. The Magnantum Pico is called Magnantum Pico for a reason. It comes with a big punch, and there you go.
That looks absolutely beautiful.
End of November,
beautiful.
The leaves have fallen, straight up to the plate, big flavour.
Can I ask about the crispy sage then? So what do you do to get that crispy sage?
So I put some neutral oil, rapeseed, sunflower, vegetable oil, just to cover the base of the pan before I confit the shallots and garlic. Again, another layer of flavour that we talked about at the beginning. And then you just pop it in.
You do 3 things at once.
I know, and talking as well. I try and keep it short. So the sage goes in, and it just fizzes away for about 6-7 seconds.
So not too hot then, the oil?
Not too hot, and just test a little sage leaf if you just want it to fizz away.
Yeah.
It's a great way of cooking
It looks amazing. So they are little
onto tissue
crunchy,
paper, and they just stiffen up.
sage, yeah.
They intensify the flavour, and also they break real nice and take away the rawness.
Right,
So
how's
that's
our
it.
risotto doing?
So let's pop
Let's
that up
put
there.
that there,
That's
yeah,
ready
yeah.
to go.
So the risotto. So we're now about 10 minutes into the risotto.
Yeah, and I
Something
think
like that?
we're a good kind of. I think we're probably about 5-6 minutes away tops.
Incredible.
So you can see as well, it's starting to get creamy.
So with risotto then, if I'm cooking it at home, I know that you can go to a certain stage with risotto and then stop and pick it up again. What stage, how far in are you when you can leave it, talk to your guests, have a glass of fizz, have a bit of a starter, and then go back to it and finish it off?
Yeah, I think the best recommendation I can give you, Susie, is that get a base, so that get to the point where you've got the shallots, and then you cook the rice halfway, so probably for about 10 minutes, and then spread it out into a tray as thin as possible, and then pop it in the fridge. So then when it comes to the course, you only have 6 minutes to cook it. And that's what they do in restaurants.
So you spread it out, and is that to stop it
cooking? Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't become rice pudding?
I would take a kind of 4.5, 2 foot tray, spread it as thin as possible, crisscross it, break up any depth.
Most people's fridge is probably 2 or 3 trays.
Well, if it's for 2 people as well, you just need a little tray, so it works.
My little fridge.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Yeah, so then you just leave it, bring it out, and then finish it off that way. So should we talk about what we're going to put into this as well? So this is
a good
truffle.
time to. So this, we talked about the backbone being the step stock.
Yeah.
Again, have a
smell.
You can. So in this truffle pesto, you can buy amazing kind of salsas online. I like to make my own truffle pesto, and I also use the word truffle pesto. People just think you have to smash a load of basil up or some pine nuts.
Yeah, well, I do.
The word pesto for me is more of a consistency.
Okay.
So we want a pesto like truffle
red wine
pesto.
while you're doing this, but so what have you put in there? Just so we know.
Got some truffle salsa.
Truffle salsa.
Yeah, we've got some truffle salsa. We've got a little bit of balsamic, some olive oil, truffle oil, and some sliced fresh and black truffle.
Wow.
And parmesan, just to bring it all together. A little bit of sea salt to finish. You want a real savoury kick, and again, this is going to be, dare I say it, well, it's a Worcester sauce to the cheese on toast, if you like.
I mean, do you think people
it's
could?
A finisher.
I mean, it does smell incredible. Do you think people could make this themselves, or is it as long as you've got those
in a supermarket or online? Bella's would be great, or you've got in supermarkets, you can buy a nice little truffle. You could even just saute some mushrooms off, chop it finely, and then just finish it with some parmesan and a little bit of white truffle. Okay. That would be the easiest one.
Delicious. Right, so I'll talk about the wine that we've got for the risotto. So I have to be really honest and say that, normally with a risotto like this, we've got truffle, we've got wild mushrooms, we're going to look at in a moment, and parmesan. I would normally go for quite a rich white wine, so something oaky. That could be Italian, but it could be white Rioja, it could be Burgundy, white Burgundy, it could be a New World Chardonnay. So what I was going to say is, if you, from any other masterclasses today, you've got one of those open, or if you've got one in the fridge or in wherever, get one open and try it with the risotto. What I've chosen is a red because I wanted to give people options. Some people much prefer drinking red wine to white, and well, exactly, and it's a bit more wintry as well, isn't it? Yeah. So I've gone for a red wine to go with this, and it's a Chianti. It's
favourite.
A Poggio Tosco Chianti 2017 from Marks and Spencer again, and it's £12. Now, I know, do you think people still think of Chianti? I'm not sure, of that sort of basket bottle fiasco thing, and not very high quality. I mean, I know that there's sort of the 1970s spring to mind, don't they? But Chianti, I was going to say, Chianti has really moved on since then, and something like this is just such a lovely wine. Quite grown up, quite serious. Quite complex, leathery,
it's
dried fruit.
Yeah, it's got. I was going to say it's not fresh fruit. It's got a dried fruit. Well, not quite prune. It's almost got a dried cherry.
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect.
We're on it. But
would you say the tannins are quite high in there? There's also it comes real big on the nose, and then.
So. A really good tip, if anybody ever gives you a wine and says, where's it from, a red wine, and you're thinking, haven't got a clue, but it might be Italy, what you're looking for in an Italian red, or what you will find in an Italian red, is high tannin, as you're saying, but like a lovely fine chalky tannin. You get that slightly chalky texture and acidity. So the two things there will tell me immediately that's an Italian red, the evident tannin and the
Sure.
acidity balance. And what's great with a dish like this is the tannin and the acidity, certainly the acidity, cuts through the richness of it.
So interesting. I'm learning so much as well. You get to equal exchange with the risotto. I'm getting a lesson here.
I think
really
I'm probably asking more questions. But yeah, no, really, and it's a reserva, so that means it's been aged a little bit longer than a normal Chianti. It's from right in the heart, the Chianti Classico region,
Sure.
which is usually where the best Chianti comes from. It was the first bit to be delimited in the 1800s. But it's a reserva, which means that you've got some aging in oak. And the oak is not there to give you a really oaky flavour, it's to give you that texture, a bit like we're talking about textures in food. It gives you the texture in your mouth.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I do, yeah. Do you know as well, some Chiantis as well, they're quite bold and brash at the end. Whereas I think there's like you talked about the tannins, which I picked up on, again, if I was going with my measure, at the 4 to 5, and then it didn't carry on. It wasn't everlasting. It kind of like just went away, smooth, and left you with a real delicate flavour in your mouth.
That's interesting you say that, because it's made mostly from Sangiovese, which you would expect in Chianti, but there is a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon and Canaiolo in there.
Okay.
And they're both going to just help to give a bit more fruit and just slightly temper the tannin of the Sangiovese. So that, but I mean, this also, it's a kind of wine that you think, if you were having on Christmas Day, you're having a goose, or you're having darker meats, this is an absolutely perfect wine for it, because it's just medium-bodied, but it's got the complexity and just so many lovely flavours.
Well, that makes sense actually, because if that kind of replaces the duck, as you've just described, with the depth of the porcini and
the earthiness.
Then the richer finish, then it would be a perfect match.
So do you cook on Christmas Day, Ryan? Is it you, or is it your lovely wife?
There's a couple of things that go down on Christmas Day, and the main thing is I want to sit down with a clean kitchen, so of course I cook. Every single year in, year out.
Are you a really tidy chef?
I am indeed, yeah. And
Can you teach my husband something?
I would love to. We talked about Gordon Ramsay at the beginning. That's that militant kind of mindset.
Yeah.
You wouldn't dare coming in without a clean apron. I've been sent out of the kitchen to iron my top many times.
To iron your top?
Iron your top.
Oh my God.
A pen. Right. If you didn't bring a pen to work with you, you'd be in for it. So,
okay, so
just
where are we?
really interrupt you. I thought I'd show you something here. Hopefully we can get a little close up. So I just wanted to show you the grain. What colours do you see in the grain there? Really important, because we're near the we're at the end of the final.
Glasses on there. But it's sort of going. It's still creamy, but there's the white in the middle almost.
So there you go.
The edge is not.
So you can see there's some grains that are almost cooked and some that are not. This would be one of the rawer. So
that's not.
The reason you can see the white more clearly than you could at the beginning is because over half of the grain is cooked, so it's translucent almost, and you can see the centre, which is not. So it's a good indication that we're in the final third. Pop the knife through it. It went through kind of like set butter, which tells me it's close. And then I don't know if you can see in there, in the tip.
Yes.
Well, and I don't know if we can get a little close up to the camera there as well.
So that is nearly there now. You probably need to be nearly there, to be honest, don't you?
So you've got about a quarter of that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you if you can't see from your glasses, Susie. But you've got about a quarter of the grain inside, which is white, which tells me it's a perfect time to pull this risotto off and just give it a nice little rest, and then we will concentrate on getting some mushroom sauté.
So you're going to sort it so too much. So is this going to go in at some point?
We're going to finish with that actually. So I will just pop this over here. Nice and hot.
Yeah.
Let's pop that there. Now, really, really important. We talked about the stock being the absolute backbone of the risotto. That's one important thing that you need to consider. The stock that goes into it is going to be the key flavour. The cooking variation is going to give you texture.
Can I give it a little stir? I feel like
you can. You get involved. You stir away, Susie. Now, really important, you want the fats to emulsify. So we're going to add some butter.
So I'm loving this
enough to make James Martin incredibly proud.
I'm not sure that is. It needs to be 50-50.
Kitchen gold, as it's known in the industry. And then we want to put, let's put 3/4 of the Parmesan in there.
So quick Parmesan question. If this was a seafood risotto, would I be allowed to add that? Are you
Yeah, of course. I add a little bit of butter. Not cheese, but my wife and I are very passionate about Italian cuisine and culture.
I know you're not
supposed to. We would, come on, like, let's have a little think about cooking as a whole. We've got fish pie. What do we grate on top?
Cheese.
Cheese. There you go. So somebody said once it wasn't allowed. Probably a chef somewhere, and everyone followed.
know.
We're not followers.
Gotta have cheese.
We're
Gotta have
doers.
cheese.
We're creators. So we're going to set our own destiny.
Anyway, that's lovely. So mushrooms.
Yeah. So
Let's
mushrooms
go,
on
let's
we
go.
go. Into the pan. So we've got some beautiful
got
mushrooms.
Minutes left now.
So the risotto, we take it off the stove and we add the fat so it emulsifies and soaks up the last little bit of juice in there and gives us a nice creamy finish. Now we've got some mushrooms here, some nice wild chanterelles. We've mixed them up a little bit in the boxes, so you may
So
have.
you've got a mixture of sort of wild and some chestnut as well.
Exactly.
I think that's important. You know, it's not always easy to get wild mushrooms, is it? You know, and you think, well, what else can I use? But something like a chestnut.
A chestnut mushroom is the supermarket king for me. It doesn't break up like the portobello and give you all that black colour in the risotto. It's got a real toasted flavour. This is looking
really
incredible. And then we've got some wild mushrooms in there for variation. No salt in the pan, just a little bit of oil.
Okay,
And we
no butter?
No butter.
No butter.
We just want to toast those mushrooms, have them half cooked, half raw. And then I'm just going to have a little taste of this with a clean spoon. I mean, I've got to blow my own trumpet, but that is delicious.
You can blow your trumpet.
It's
You blow your trumpet
absolutely
as much
stunning.
as you like because the smell of that alone is incredible.
I'm always nervous just because I'm a perfectionist and I always want things to be right. No matter how much training you've got, you still have to concentrate.
You know, every bit of stock is different. Every amount of tiny bit of salt that you put in is different.
Exactly. So I just want to show the consistency to you. Watch this. So it rolls as one. So the grain and the liquid as one. That's telling you you've got that perfect, you know, melty clotted cream. I'll just show you on close up there. Hopefully you can see that. So just running as one, really, really important to get that on the plate.
So that's amazing, isn't it?
So a nice generous portion here that we've given you as well.
Good.
Very, very important. It is the end of November.
One of my favourite things ever, really.
So nice little tip, tap, 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 3 taps, gives you a nice kind of base. You know it's not going to run any further, so you can start to plate.
Are we putting that on it then?
We are, we're going to finish with that. So the
You know
mushrooms,
just how obsessed I am with this.
you can't wait. Well, that is one of the most exciting parts. It's going to add a big kick. Now you've probably noticed as well, you'll be thinking, what's he done with the mushrooms? Purposely done. I haven't touched them because I want them to toast. And look at the colour. Nice little toasted finish to them.
I remember in one of your other cook-alongs saying that, I know with the courgettes. You know, the courgettes, not to move them, you know, just...
Well, they're full of water, just like mushrooms as well.
They really go nice and toasty.
Well, that's correct as well. The more you move, the more you bring the heat up and down. You've been learning, you've been watching me, you've been doing your homework. Amazing, and here we go. Really, really generous on the truffle pesto, just to finish.
That's amazing.
And let's just carry on with that, just because we can. And again, just to harmonise the dish with the beautiful salad, which I can bring down here.
That looks incredible, doesn't it?
And then the crispy sage that I had before, just use a few pieces of those. And again, why not?
Do you know what we brought?
Got a few little tips there just to marry the 2 dishes together. A nice little bit of texture as well. A little bit of tardivo.
Can we try?
And there you have it, tardivo salad with a balsamic truffle salted sage salad.
And a couple of glasses of wine.
A couple of glasses of wine and a beautiful
can I
truffle
take...
pesto set risotto.
That is absolutely amazing. You'll know this because you've already cooked it, or you may be cooking it shortly.
That's delicious.
Now, we've also got
Very
some
good.
cantucci, haven't we?
We have indeed, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that is incredible. I mean, we want to eat all of that.
On to dessert.
And I've brought just a little bit of Vinsanto for us to have with the cantucci. So you don't have to do anything with your cantucci. It's there, isn't it? Ready-made. And all we're going to do with it, if you've got anything like this, dessert wine, anything sweet, stick a cantucci in it. Can we do that?
We're going to dip.
Of course,
is it a real
dip.
thing?
You can dip, you can double dip,
Wow,
you can
here we
triple
go.
dip. Dip as much as you like, dip away.
Oh my god. Feels so wrong yet so right at the same time. Here we go.
You could love this. Oh my god, that's good.
That's delicious. So there we have it.
That's a cheers. That is a definite cheers. Oh my goodness. How good.
Well, Susie.
Congratulations, well done.
Congratulations, thank you for
Hope you
bringing
enjoyed this.
such lovely wines as well.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Well, there we go. Wow, that looks incredible. The smells, the sound of the cooking, and the food looks absolutely delicious. Thank you, Ryan, and thank you, Susie.
Very welcome.
25 minutes of just incredible food and wine knowledge.
Speed cooking.
Speed cooking. I've never learned so much. Thank you so much to both of you. And thank you everyone at home for joining on this very special edition of A Cook's Tour. If you like what you've learnt today and would like to join us on the tour, then please do. On the 3rd of December, we are going to be in the indigenous outback, and then on the 17th, we're going to be trying Korean street food. So please do check us out on our website, www.thecookstour.co.uk. We hope you can join us. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Ryan.
Cheers.
Cheers.